So I'm David Wise, I'm the regular announcer here at the Bundaberg Powerboat Club, but it's my pleasure this weekend to introduce all the way from Sydney, he didn't want me to pump up his tyres, but the king of powerboat racing announcing in Australia, Craig Lynn. Welcome to Bundaberg, Craig.
Yeah, thanks indeed, Dave, and we've got some lovely conditions occurring today, 23 degrees here in Bundaberg. We'll find a little bit of chop back in the water a little bit later today. We've got some magnificent racing here, all divisions catered for. Of course, our main act, the Larry Martin, the Trojan, for the very, very last time. Unfortunately, Larry losing his life here in 2004. So the family commemorating for the final time the Trojan Trophy. We've got a number of Australia's best in the 6 litre class here this weekend. We can hear in the background, we can hear the big yellow madness of Troy Marlin here for the unlimited competition. We've got all the regular classes here, Dave. All the outboard A, B and C and inboard A and Bs. Got all the kids. We've got the A50cc, 25 horsepower, excuse me, and we can all, hopefully everyone at home enjoys it, courtesy of Wide Bay ITV. 2 big days, racing commencing around about 9 o'clock. You're the regular guy here, mate. Water conditions, they look pretty good to me.
Yeah, nice and flat out there at the moment. So as we said, as long as the wind doesn't come up and the rain stays away, we'll be in for a great day of racing today here at Sandy Hook. And of course, folks, thanks very much to Wide Bay ITV for the live stream here as well. But if you're local to Bundy, then come on out, have a great time, enjoy some live racing. We got plenty of food and coffee out here as well. So, and it's a great day. So come out, bring the family for some excellent family entertainment with Bundaberg Powerboat Club.
And we have a flag down. So Lily's the first to stomp on the accelerator. She goes to the early lead over Xander Law there in second, back to Chase Smiley in third, the little development boat used by the club here at Bundaberg. So our 2 lead boats going into the NZ Bundaberg top turn and moving out onto the Brisbane Marine back straight. Lily Theodolou, she's charged to an early lead over Xander Law. You can see young Chase just going around the outside of NZ Bundaberg there. Oh, lovely little inside pass here from Xander Law in Bad Habit. In the Bad Habits boat, caught Lily on the inside. Not so sure if Lily lost the compass there, but a lovely inside pass there by Xander Law. So boats just coming out of the Smiley Group of Companies front straight, moving through Bundaberg NZ top turn. Look at Xander Law. He's put a bit of a space over young Lily in second place. And back in third, Chase Smiley in the little development boat used by the club here. Of course, young Chase in his first year of racing here at Bundaberg. So we have a yellow flag being displayed to our drivers. The first of those, of course, Xander Law over Lily Theodolou and Chase Smiley in third. Final time moving on to the Brisbane Marine back straight. Xander Law, it ain't over till the fat lady sings, but he's got a substantial lead over Lily in second. Third in Chase is Chase Smiley. A little bit of chop coming over the water now, which should suit the boats. Not sucking down as they normally would, but taking the Whitewater Marine checkered flag will be Xander Law. Second will be Lily Theodolou, and in third will be Chase Smiley. That's your 1, 2, 3, race 1 of the 2024 Rum City Classic. I tell you what, Dave, we thought Lily, early on, she held that inside pole, but she lost the compass in the bottom corner there, and Xander just come right along the inside.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm sure that she'll be looking to get one up on him in Heat 2, mate. So thanks for your call, Craig. All right, so coming up next, our juniors J3. So our field for this one is Little Rustler, being driven by Hayden Chiswell. Titan with Isla White driving. Little Hole Shot, driven by Fletcher Donnelly. Little Bees, driven by Dylan Davies. Tory Jane Racing, with Tory Jane Wood driving. More Madness, driven by Bella Smiley. Lost Identity, driven by Noah Cosson. And Next Gen Marine Junior, with Leilani Borg driving that one. Well, folks, so this junior race we got heading around here now. So a couple of these white boats from this distance look pretty similar, but the binoculars aren't helping. But it looks like definitely just out the front there, that's either going to be Lost Identity or Titan, we think. But Little Bees is just off there, hanging back in second place. Then we've got Tory Jane in third. Little Hole Shot just about to make a move up there. Then in the yellow boat you've got Bella Smiley. And then Leilani in the Next Gen Marine boat.
So we've got a nice little mixture of young ladies and young men out on the water there, Dave. Some of our boats, of course, Little Russell, driven by Hayden Chiswell, Isla White in Titan, Dylan Davies, Little Bees, Tory Jane Wood in Tory Jane Racing, Bella Smiley in the More Madness boat. That's the yellow boat we can just see coming out of NZ at Bundaberg, bottom turn, moving on to the Smiley group, front straight. Also Fletcher Donnelly in the white, Little Hole Shot, Noah Caston in Lost Identity, and Leilani Borg in Next Gen Marine. Just a couple of boats on the water, ladies and gentlemen. And this represents the Marlin family. The white boat in front of us, of course, is the six. The 16-year-old Corey Marlin in the sick puppy machine. And course, he's dead out on the water, the big yellow Evercraft of Troy Marlin. You don't often see a father and son team on the water at the same stage. Young Corey won the Wagon Championship at the St George Powerboat Club last weekend, the youngest ever at 16 years of age in the 5.2 litre Wagon Trophy. We saw Troy there with the absolute backside of the boat, the only part of the boat on the water. Absolute poetry. The throttle control of Troy Marlin, unbelievable. And I'm sure we're going to see the apple's not going to fall far from the tree and his young son, Corey Marlin. And ladies and gents, that is a teaser, an absolute teaser of what we're going to see a little bit later.
Okay, 850cc drivers, once these two boats are safely back in from their warm-up, we'll have you out on the course for your first race. 850cc's, hopefully you're in the water ready to go. We'll have you out on the course in a moment.
.850s, 850cc on the water. Just had a few communication problems there, our apologies. So it looks like the boat driven by Logan Kidd, Jitterbug, out in the lead.
Yes, that's Jitterbug out in front, mate.
So Luke Birmingham
second.
there, Dave. Sorry, mate. Luke Birmingham in Supernaut in second place. So it looks as like we've got the Brisbane Marine entries of the Kidd family in first and third on the water. So Supernaut coming up on the outside, pushing the back to second and third. So Gary Parker being pushed back one place, coming into NZ at Bundaberg, the top corner. Kira Eglinton bringing up the tail, but all eyes are fixed to our front of the pack. So someone's had a moment there in the NZ at Bundaberg bottom turn. Yep. So Luke Birmingham, Supernaut in the lead. Tennis Racket in second place. So Jitterbug back in third. Next Gen racing back to fourth. Then Gary Parker in Cyclone. And the Warrior, Kira Eglinton. So yellow flag being displayed to our competitors. So Supernaut just coming out of the NZ at Bundaberg. Top turn. And to take the Whitewater Marine checkered flag, Luke Birmingham in Supernaut takes the win. Tennis Racket holding second. Next Gen Racing in third. Jitterbug in fourth. Cyclone will be in fifth. And Kira Eglinton, driver of Warrior, will take sixth place. Coming up for the start of restricted combo brought to us by the Brothers Club here right in Bundaberg. Out of pole we have Tom Birmingham in Shogun. Second going to Cathy Eglinton. Leon Evans in stress in third, and the other Queensland skipper screwed and glued, Todd Hines. The Green Machine, he's back in fourth place, but leading out Tom Birmingham. For all the Ford fans out there in the crowd, a 1992 Fairlane engine powering this boat. So as he moves on the Brisbane Marine back straight, looks like Cathy in silence, about to be overtaken here by one of the little Queensland skiffs on the inside, Tom Birmingham. Coming up to complete one of three for Tom Birmingham. Cathy Eglinton in second place in silence. So Leon Evans coming up on the inside of Cathy Eglinton, the Queensland skiff. Through the bottom turn, the Bundaberg NZ at Bundaberg. He moves into second place onto the Smiley Gripper Company's front straight. But Eglinton comes back down the outside. Look at Kathy Eglinton. She's retaken second place, but she's going to have to hold a line, meaning the little boat Stress has the inside line, but great corner by Eglinton. In fact, she's actually opened up that gap between second and third. Tom Birmingham having a nice lonely drive out in front. Toddy Hines there in screwed and glued in fourth place, having an absolute job to keep that boat nice and straight. Checkered flag time, Whitewater Marine. Of course, we're talking about our good friend Clinton White there. The checkered flag going to Tom Birmingham. Kathy Eglinton third. I've got Leon Evans in Stress. And Todd Hines in screwed and glued back in fourth place. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Last time we were up here at the Rum City Classic last year, Tom had a terrible time with engine issues, but he certainly didn't face those this morning. Absolutely cleaned up the opposition. Kath Eglinton in silence in second, Leon Evans in third in Stress, and screwed and glued. Of course, Todd Hines in fourth. I tell you what, we had a tremendous race there, Dave, but in second and third. Okay, so we've got the South Australian, Zach Slattery. He's out in the lead in Titan. So Maniac Jason Chiswell holding second, third place going. Eureka, the little lady from Mackay, Katie Jenner, she's in third place. Caden Sutherland holding fourth in Just Winging It, and that pushes probably Josh Chiswell back to fifth. So there we are, ladies and gentlemen. The Titan machine of Zach. Sadly, he's out in the lead from Jason Chiswell in Maniac. Katie Jenner in Eureka. Next along, Just Winging It, Caden Sutherland, and in fifth place and bringing up the tail, Josh Chiswell. So there we go, nice lonely drive for young Zach. Driving the Titan machine way out in front of Jason Chiswell, beg your pardon. Of course, Josh's son. He's in fifth place. From memory, last year, little lady racer, Katie Jenner, driver of Eureka. She cleaned this division up from memory last year. But in her first race this morning, getting the nose of that boat very, very high indeed, ladies and gentlemen. But it's that boat out in the lead that's stamping their authority. Zach Sadley leading out from Jason Chiswell. Just coming out of the bottom corner there, the Bundaberg, NZ at Bundaberg is our third place getter. Just winging it, and of course the Extreme Machine boat of Joshy Chiswell back in fifth. But we've boats are currently on their last lap and about to face the Whitewater Marine checkered flag. Zach Sadley, wow, Titan. Looks like Jason Chiswell might have had a bit of a moment there. He went very, very wide indeed. Not sure if Jace might have just lost the compass there a little bit. But Katie Jenner seemed to make up a lot of territory on the inside. So Katie coming home in third in Eureka, just winging it in fourth place. And Josh Chiswell, he'll be pretty disappointed in that, coming home in fifth place. So we can see a white flag aloft our start boat, ladies and gentlemen. It's Kilpatrick on the inside in Melody 11. We see Reuters on the outside. What a start from James Clark in Toughen Up, and on the outside, look at Ryan McIntosh coming up to NZ Bundaberg, bottom turn, on the inside, James Clark, wowee, what a corner, but up on his outside, the lock and load boat of Ryan McIntosh, screaming down the Brisbane Marine back straight, Kilpatrick in third, next along is Reuters, Mark Ebenreuter. But Bundaberg, NZ, top turn, same result on the inside. Clark leads out from lock and load, driven by Ryan McIntosh. James holding that inside line. You see James down the back straight. He's opened up a little bit of a lead now over McIntosh in second. Great battle here for third and fourth. We got on the inside Kilpatrick, the red machine of Ebenreuter on the outside. But we'll move back to first and second. I tell you what, Lock and Load hasn't given up here. He's probably about 5 or 6 boat lengths behind Clark. He's probably dropped a bit further now. The next time around on the Brisbane Marine back straight, James Clark, the beautiful blue machine, the number 82. Oh, look at this battle for third and fourth. On the inside, Kilpatrick, Ebenreuter on the outside. The New South Wales v South Australia. Look at this battle coming up to NZ at Bundaberg, top turn. But ladies and gentlemen, warm those hands for the South Australian James Clark taking the win over Ryan McIntosh, the Wingham Wonder. He comes home in second place. Third will go to Ebenreuter over Kilpatrick. So Adelaide and South Australia finishing first and third. New South Wales in second and fourth. What a race, ladies and gentlemen. Dave Wise, wowee.
All right, so coming out of that first corner there, so it looks like it's going to be that boat Sonic with David Cassell driving that one, and then we've got Blue Balls with Dan Gamble in second there at the present time. So this lap's going to be 3 laps. So coming round to complete lap 1 of 3 now. So David Cassell in Sonic leading the way from Dan Gamble in Blue Balls. Then Fat Chance in 3rd. That'll be the Deviate Clinton White in 4th. And I think... All right, at the halfway mark in this one, 1.5 laps down, 1.5 to go. It's still Sonic and Blue Balls and Fat Chance and the Deviate. Same race order at the present time, nothing changing. They're pretty evenly spaced out at the moment as the yellow flag goes up for Sonic to let him know he's got 1 lap to go in this one. Well out in front at the present time. Blue Balls there in 2nd and Fat Chance in 3rd. So they're pretty evenly spaced in this one, not much changing. So just half a lap to go now for Sonic. That red boat there you see out in front with the orange helmet down the back straight there at the minute. Alrighty, and the checkered flag awaits for David Cassell in Sonic, who's going to take this one from Dan Gamble in Blue Balls in 2nd. Scott Carandrews at Fat Chance coming over in 3rd. Then we'll have Clinton White in the Deviate 4th. Uh-oh. So close, yet so far. So it looks like that's Dean McLaughlin in Bundy on, pulled up about 30 metres short of the finish line. So that race, our outboard sea race, as soon as these are safely back in, looks like one of those boats might need a bit of a tow, so we might have a couple of minutes, but we're pretty close to the bank, so it won't take them long to get back in. And then we'll be having our second round of the Trojan Trophy, our next group.
Ladies and gentlemen, tough enough on the inside, getting a great start, but look on the outside, we've got Sick Puppy right down the outside, in past through the centre. So Clark holding that inside line, wow, coming onto the Brisbane Marine back straight next time around, toughen up. James Clark trying to fend off Brendan Mason in second place. So the boats coming out of Brisbane Marine around NZ at Bundaberg. Top turn onto the Smiley Group, front straight, completing 1 of 3, 1 of 3. Going to James Clark, second to Brendan Mason. Clark coming up to Bundaberg. The NZ at Bundaberg, top turn onto the Smiley Group front straight. Showing his superiority now. Not much Mason can do, but receiving the yellow flag and 1 to go for Clark. much amazing to do. Young Corey Marlin, the 16-year-old. So final time on the Smiley Group front straight, ladies and gentlemen. The blue boat all the way from Adelaide, South Australia. James Clark taking the win over Brendan Mason in second place. Third going to Corey Marlin. So we had the Adelaide Speedboat Club represented in first place. Second going to the Raymond Terrace Aquatic Club. And in third place the Queenslander from the Goldie, of course, Corey Marlin. So that's Heat 1B of the Trojan. Each of the drivers, 2 more heats of the Trojan each for today. Don't be afraid to put those hands together, ladies and gentlemen. Show your appreciation. Some of these boats doing in excess of 125 mile an hour. Really honking along. And as we'll probably see later in the day, or later tomorrow, when we have the Dominic McLaughlin King of the River, you would imagine some of these 6-litre boats will be invited, and they will be start nipping away at the heels of guys like Troy Marlin, some of the big F1 boats, the tunnel boats we've got here this weekend.
All right, thanks to your great call of that Trojan Cup race, Craig. Just let the everyone know that 25 horsepower Heat 2, you're up next. So as soon as these 6 litres are back in safely, we'll get our 25 horsepower race underway. So Heat 2 coming up next for 25s, and that'll be followed by Inboard B. Okay, so on our way now, so 25 horsepower, so it looks like Slingshot there. Hugo's had a little bit of a mishap on that first NZ turn there, but he's back underway again now. Meanwhile, at the front, so it looks like we've got Scott Traynor, more time out, leading the way at the present time, and that'll be Steph Cooper, I think, in Siren right next to him there, so challenging for the lead at the present time. So meanwhile, back there, we'll have, I think, Peter Bart's Mental Health in third, and Steve Cooper in Coop Science Racing sitting fourth at the present time. As they come down to complete a lap 1 of 3, so Scott Traynor in more time out, leading the way at the present time. Steph Cooper in Siren coming in second at the moment. Coming down there, that'll be Peter Bart's Mental Health in that dark coloured boat there, and then Coop Science Racing, and then you've got Kamikaze, I think, and Slingshot neck and neck there at the back. So meanwhile, out front now, so it looks like Steph Cooper, so she's dropped off a bit during that turn there, so Scott Traynor in more time out has taken over that lead again fairly well, so Steph will sit back there in second. Peter Bart's in Mental Health is in third at the moment. Coop Science Racing, Steve Cooper sitting there in fourth, and looks like Hugo in that green Slingshot boat recovered well from his mishap last lap, but a little bit of work to do for those last 2 boats, Slingshot and Kamikaze. Meanwhile, down at the back front there, coming out of that Whitewater Marine turn into the Smileys front straight. We'll have a yellow flag going up, so just about 1 lap to go in this one. Scott Traynor in more time out. Pretty well out in front at the moment, but Steph Cooper there in Siren is near enough if he makes even the slightest mistake. Meanwhile, Peter Bart's there in Mental Health coming in third at the present time. Bit of a race there as that slingshot boat, Hugo in that green boat, recovers and he's making his way back up, so about to pass Coop Science Racing going down the main straight there. Meanwhile, on the back straight, Scott Traynor in more time out, still well out in front. Steph Cooper in Siren second. Peter Bart's still in third, so not much changing there. Keep an eye on those back three. Those might be all the placings count at the end of the day, folks, so it's they accumulate points right across the weekend, so it's not a lost cause for those boats that aren't in the lead at the moment. All the points count at the end of the weekend. So coming down now, Scott Traynor in more time out. Just a little bit to go, and the checkered flag is waiting for him as he crosses the start-finish line. Steph Cooper in Siren will be second. Peter Bart's in Mental Health third. Looks like Steve Cooper in Coop Science Racing is going to hold on for fourth. And then you've got a battle between Slingshot and Kamikaze, and it's going to be Slingshot next and then Kamikaze for our 25 horsepower race. So that 25 horsepower race was brought to us by Coop Science Engineering, owned by Steve Cooper, and they're a recently formed company that can solve complex problems with simple solutions. Steve, as well as when he's not racing his boat, he's got over 20 years experience in the medical and scientific laboratory domain, specialising in biochemistry, industrial spectrometry and optical emission and mass spectrometry. So he's that's what Steve does when he's not out racing his 25 horsepower boat. So coming up next, we've got our inboard B race. So I was just down the pits there, and most of them look like they're ready to go. So as soon as these 25 horsepowers are all in, we'll be underway with inboard B.
Inboard B, out of 1, Steve Mallett, Montgomery out of 2, Peterson out of 3, Eglinton out of 4, and out of 5 it's Fletcher. Leads out from on the outside. Look at Peterson and Hot Lemon, but coming into second place courtesy of Bundaberg, and in there he ends out of Bundaberg. Bottom turn was Wayne Montgomery, but Peterson's come back on the outside to reclaim second. Mallet out in the lead. Moved up a position to third place. So Peterson comes up on the inside on the Bundaberg, beg your pardon, the Brisbane Marine back straight. So Peterson leads out from Steve Mallett in Send It. So the local boy moves into the lead. 1 lap to go for Rod Peterson. Senate going to Steve Mallett, Mark Eglinton. The next boat on the Smiley Group front straight. The misfire two of Wayne Montgomery. An irritation, Brent Fletcher bringing up the tail, but final time on the Brisbane Marine back straight, leading into NZ Bundaberg. The top corner and onto the Smiley Group front straight. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. What he's hoping to be many Whitewater Marine checkered flags this weekend. Mr. Rod Peterson takes the win. From in second place, Steve Mallett. In third, Mark Eglinton. Next along on the inside is Wayne Montgomery in Misfire 2. An irritation, bring up the tail, Brent Fletcher. Wow. One of Bundaberg's favourite sons, ladies and gentlemen, in Hot Lemon, Rod Peterson. He's a big mover and shaker with NZ here at Bundaberg also. A very big thank you going out to Oz Propellers, bringing us our first race for Inboard B of today. So boats in the milling area, ladies and gentlemen. So we've got Chris Tucker driving the boat Villain, and also Marcus Millard driving the 222 boat, and both those boats Millennium Chance hulls. So we can see our start boat coming down the course, just about to hit the Smiley Group front straight. Here they come, ladies and gentlemen. That white flag is aloft. The Hurdland boat of Todd Hines, that'll be closest to us here on the bank. We have a flag down, we have a race start. Hurdland on the outside, Todd Hines, he's charged out of the blocks. In the rear engine hydro, the Hurdland boat of Hines, very wide indeed. Look at the rooster tail of Todd Hines on the outside, moving into the Brisbane Marine back straight. We can see Marcus Millard on the inside. Chris Tucker, he's dropped back significantly, but halfway down the Brisbane Marine back straight, Hurdland, but courtesy of that good real estate on the inside, here comes Marcus Millard. Right on the inside, coming into NZ at Bundaberg, the top corner, right round the outside, keeping the momentum in the boat. A big rooster tail coming for Hoodlum. Todd Hines. Great race for the lead, ladies and gentlemen. A fair old gap now back to a third, Chris Tucker. Oh, we've had a problem. The fire's gone out of Hoodlum. He stopped in the NZ Bundaberg bottom turn. So that leaves way out in front. And I mean way out in front is Marcus Millard. He leads out by nearly a full straight on the Brisbane Marine back straight over Chris Tucker. I'll tell you what, Tucker slowed significantly also. But Millard receiving the yellow flag, and one to go for Millard. So Millard currently on his last lap. Anyone at the venue that can see the white flag with the red diagonal stripe through it, that's a warn the drivers that there is a disabled boat on the course, and that disabled boat, of course, is Todd Hines. So it's basically a warning flag. So Millard, final time onto the Smiley Group front straight. And he'll take the win over his good mate Chris Tucker. So Millard takes the the win. Tucker's got some big problems in that villain machine. So there we go. Out board B, first race, Millard goes for the win over Chris Tucker in second. Unfortunately, Hoodlum, the early leader, he did stop in the NZ Bundaberg bottom turn. Just while we're waiting for Hoodlum to be retrieved. For anyone at the venue yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, we had a really solid afternoon of practice, and everything was going really well for this guy until he had a bit of a dipsy doodle going up the Brisbane Marine back straight. Zachy Atkinson, what happened?
I think the last couple of weekends been good, been out in the water heaps, lots of rough water. Come here yesterday, it was very flat, very smooth. I think the boat was just sucked into the water a bit, so as I trimmed it out that little bit more, that was a little bit too much for it. Wind caught it and off it went. So yeah, kind of held him for the ride, knew I wasn't going to come back down. So yeah, luckily got out quickly, had all the rescue crew there straight away for me, to check me out. But main thing is got out okay, boat's done for the weekend, but yeah.
We saw you at the St George Powerboat Club last weekend. Boat was really strong. You were basically a bit of test and tune last weekend for this weekend. It all turned pear-shaped yesterday.
Yeah, so down at St George Motorboat Club last weekend for their big spectacular. All just getting ready for this weekend. This is supposed to be our big weekend for us for the year. But yeah, unfortunately that come to an end. But it was good down there anyway. Got to experience some bigger, closer racing. Got put in a heat for the Riverside with 2 GP hydros, so that was something very different, lots of big hulls, so good learning curve with that anyway.
Yeah, just going back to yesterday, I hate going back over old news, but I'll tell you what, the boat got some serious air down that back straight.
Yeah, no, for sure. It was riding very high. Yeah, I guess there's always a limit, and I found the limit, so that was it.
The beauty of powerboat racing these days, the safety's so good.
Oh yeah, for sure. The paramedics took me into the hospital yesterday, Arvo, to check me out, and yeah, they were amazed at how well we can come out of them without really a scratch or anything. So yeah, it shows how important it is to have all the right safety gear and safety cells and things like that.
Then, and of course, you've got the 5-point harness. You've got oxygen. You've got an oxygen bottle in the cockpit as well.
Yeah, so 5-point harness, not moving anywhere, and oxygen bottle as well. So in the event you can't get out quick enough, you know you can sit inside the cell, wait and breathe on air until a diver can get to you and get you out.
Okay, mate. Look, the main thing is you're okay, but you are a little bit sore.
Yeah, sore for sure, but I'm okay. Ready to watch the rest of the weekend racing. It should be good.
Okay, just finally, mate, is the boat cactus, as in a throwaway?
No, already been on the phone to a few people. I think it's going to be getting driven down to Sydney sometime soon to get fixed. So don't know a time when it will be back on the water, but we should be back stronger soon at some point. All
right, mate, we can't wait to see that. And it was a bit of a dipsy doodle down there back straight, but we know the Atkinson family have been in the sport a long time. You'll be back sooner rather than later. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for one of our young tearaway drivers, Zach Atkinson. Thank you, Zach.
Thanks, Craig.
Whitewater Marine, our good friend Clinton White bringing us inboard A for the weekend. Out of 1, Andrew Goodhue, the Punisher. Dave Law, home wrecker, out of 2. Rob Simpson, downtime, out of 3. Out of 4, we've got James McLaughlin in Hustler. 5, 10, Windmill, who cares? 6, Benny Cole. Here we go, Dave White.
Thanks, Craig. And as we head out of the start-finish line, so looking good. Who's off pole 1 there, so he's got a good run out of that turn from Dave Law in home wrecker. So just looking there, Cole Sweat will be in third at the present time. So at the present time, Andrew Goodhue in the Punisher. Well out in front, slowed up a fair bit in that corner, so he's given Dave Law in home wrecker a good look in there. In fact, Dave Law, a pretty good run out of that corner, so it'll be pretty tight between those first 2 boats as they come across the start-finish line now. Meanwhile, but it's still Punisher in at first from home wrecker, Cole Sweat. Then we're going to have Downtime and Hustler and Who Cares coming across in 6. So at the halfway mark in this one, so there are 1.5 laps to go. It's Dave Law in Homewreck has taken over that lead from Punisher, Andrew Goodhue. At the present time, Cole Sweat is just about to mount a challenge as well for those top placings. Bit untidy there for Dave Law, so Andrew Goodhue doesn't need an invitation and takes over the lead again in Punisher. So expect it to be pretty tight between those two as they come back down to the line. So as they head down the back straight now, half a lap to go. Dave Law in Homewrecker has got the goods down that back straight. Punisher, Andrew Goodhue finding a bit of rough water there and has had to slow right up. Meanwhile, Cole Sweat now possibly a look in for second, but we'll see how they come out of that turn. Dave Law in Homewrecker, the checkered flag is waiting, but he's slowed right up, as is Punisher, and Cole Sweat has come in over the top. So not sure whether both of those boats have got a problem there, but that seemed really odd, Craig. Well, both Dave Law in Homewrecker and Punisher both slowed right down there, right on the finish. Cole Sweat in over the top, but
good field of outboard A coming out, ladies and gentlemen. The number 17 running for Brisbane Marine. The number 17, of course, Craig Spicer. This hull, an Aussie F1 composite 250 APX V8 motor. And the other stablemate, not too sure if it's his dad, Pete, or Gary Dryer driving the... Gary, thank you. So Gary Dryer driving the other Brisbane Marine boat. We can see Dave Wedlock coming out in the unusually coloured number 3. They've torched a couple of motors recently. Dave was saying to me this morning he's only got about 280 horsepower, I think it was, with the engine bolted on. Great to see Craig Truslove showing some really good speed yesterday in practice. The number 51 Extreme Marine Swick Automotive, no deposit first home. Really good to see Craig showing some really good form. This boat, of course, powered by an Evinrude. We don't see many circuit boats in Australia running an Evinrude. Good to see you. Outboard A coming up, ladies and gentlemen. Dave Wise, you may have the pole positions. We've seen the last couple of years, we've seen the boats starting off a dock start. We see the number 4, Joel Downs machine, coming down the ramp.
Righty, yeah, so just jump in. Craig. So coming off pole 1 will be Craig Spicer. Off 2 will be in CPG Racing. Off 2 will be Craig Truslove in the Extreme Marine boat. Off 3 will be Dave Wedlock from Wedlock Racing. Pole 4 was Team Bar, but they're out, as you were talking to Zach there before, as is High Lift Motorsports, David Parker, out for the weekend. Then off the next 6 will be Joel Downs in dealing again. Then 7 Aussie Composites with Peter Spicer and Gary Dreyer sharing the driving this weekend, Craig. So yeah, so as you're talking to Zach there before, Team Bar out for the weekend, as is High Lift Watersports.
Okay, we just heard David Wise that Peter Spicer and Gary Dreyer sharing the driving this weekend. We can certainly say Gary Dreyer is in the boat. Gary is in the boat at this moment. We might have a word to this man because he's been a wonderful sponsor of us here, Extreme Marine, Jason Chiswell. Jace, you're one of the hard-working volunteers and sponsors of the 51 boat. Showed some really good speed yesterday.
Yeah, we had a couple of issues yesterday morning with the engine, so we changed the engine over. But yeah, so far so good. We ran it. This is the engine we ran at Laley a couple of weeks ago, and we did 30-odd laps with no drama. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Okay, you've spent a lot of time with this boat.
About 7 years now.
The Avenue coming down to the start. One of our great sponsors here, Mr. Jason Chiswell of Extreme Marine. Coming up at the start, ladies and gentlemen, outboard A doesn't get any better. We can see Truslov out of 2, the yellow machine. Looks like Craig Spicer on the inside. We do have a start. Great start by Craig Spicer on the inside. Truslov, Dave Wedlock, and right down the outside. Right down the outside, here comes Gary Dreyer. But on the inside, Spicer, Truslops moves onto the outside, onto the Brisbane Marine back straight. Look at this drag race, ladies and gentlemen. Wedlock back to third. Drive, I tell you what, Spicer's coming back on the inside of Truslop. Wow! Coming up to the NZ at Bundaberg, top turn. Good corner by Truslop. Forcing Spicer back on the inside. Look at Wedlock. He's a sleeper in all this. He's charging down the outside. Truslop's got a problem. Truslop's got a problem here. He slowed significantly down the main straight, and Spicer's moved back into the lead, but the wily veteran, Dave Wedlock, has moved up on the outside. Spicer's going to make him work really hard. He'll force him out wide, coming onto the Smiley Group front straight. Spicer on the inside. Wedlock on the outside. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. We got 2 more of this. Truslop's back in third. Joel Downs fourth. And Gary Dreyer back in fifth place. The veteran racer, Dave Wedlock. I tell you, Craig Spicer, he didn't look real well yesterday on his birthday. Maybe that's taking a little bit of effect on him at the moment. Truslop's come up back on the inside. Wedlock driving pin to pin as we speak. You see Truslop coming back on the inside of Spicer. So that's the battle with second and third. So we could hear last time around, ladies and gentlemen, all was not well with the Truslop machine. Final time, ladies and gentlemen, taking the Whitewater Marine checkered flag, and that goes to Davey Wedlock. Dave Wedlock. He's had engine dramas for the last couple of weeks, but he's finally found victory. Second goes to Craig Spicer. Next along is Craig Truslop. That's a Craigathon here for second and third. Joel Downs holding fourth place for Downs Racing, and Gary Dreyer bringing up the tail. Holy moly, what a race. He was a sleeper on the outside, Truslop and Spicer. They were going hammer and tong out in the lead. And meanwhile, Wedlock is just sitting back, smoking the pipe. Smoking. What's going on? And next minute, right round the outside. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. He's had a terrible time with engines recently, but I tell you what, that is a really, really good result for Wedlock Racing.
Right, so as these unlimited inboard races make their way out onto the course, thanks to sign Max Bundaberg. The field for this one is Fury with Hayden Chesser driving, Madness driven by Troy Marland, Sick Puppy driven by Corey Marland, Melody XL with Brian Kilpatrick driving, and Rudis and Lock and Load are 2 extra entries.
Ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your hats. You're in for an absolute treat coming up. Coming up to the start. Marlon out of 2, his son on the inside. And Fury right down the outside. Look at Marlon. We can see Chesser, the way he was moving around the outside. Sick Puppy. It's a Marlon 1-2 on the water. The 4th place going to Kilpatrick, but the father and son are 1-2. They're 1-2 coming onto the Smiley Group front straight. Troy, but his son on the inside. The little 6-litre. Unfortunately for Fury has stopped on the Smiley Group front straight. Kilpatrick holding 3rd. They should see a yellow flag next time around. Fury has stopped right in the centre of the course. We've got a white with a red diagonal stripe through. A danger flag on the course. And the son, Corey Marlon, moved into the lead. So coming on to the Smiley Group front straight final time, it's Corey on the inside, Troy on the outside. Who's going to win, ladies and gentlemen? Well, there's one for the record books, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see Corey Marlon taking unlimited Heat 1, taking it off Father Troy. I'm sure that's part of all the education for young Corey. And what an education. So ladies and gentlemen, warm your hands for the Marlon family. You can see the big yellow boat of Troy Marlon. And of course his young son taking the checkered flag. Of course Corey Marlon. He took out the wagon trophy for 5.2 litres last weekend at the St George Powerboat Club. 16 years of age, ladies and gentlemen. So little Lucifer, Lily Theodolou, she goes to an early lead like she did in the previous race. Bad Habits, that's Xander Law, son of David. And the little junior development boat of Chase Smiley. Of course, Chase, the son of our principal sponsor here this weekend. Our joint principal sponsor, the Smiley Group. Of course, Troy Smiley. A very big thank you to Troy and his wonderful companies. So Lily out in front. Xander Law back in second. We can see young Chase just going around the Bundaberg, beg your pardon, NZ at Bundaberg, bottom turn. So they come up to complete 1 of 3. 1 of 3 for our competitors. So it was this portion of the race earlier on today that we saw Xander make the big charge on the inside of Lily, but Lily is much tighter on the course this time around and hasn't left that gaping hole in the corner that she previously did. So you can see Lily went in a little bit too hot there. So that's opened up that inside passage there for Xander Law. So yellow flag being displayed. Young Chase Smiley out there in 3rd place. So final time out of the NZ at Bundaberg. Bottom turn, Lily Theodolou still leading. Just about to put a lap on young Chase Smiley. This will be nice and interesting because Xander Law is coming up on the inside here. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. It ain't over till the fat lady sing Xander Law. What a great inside pass. He's braced his arm. Thank you very much. Wow. That's why we've all got to concentrate for those full 3 laps. That Xander said thank you very much right along the inside.
Okay, so just as these last of these J2 juniors are making their way back in, juniors J3 next category up is up next, so we'll have you out on the water in a moment, but in the meantime a quick shout out to our junior sponsor Extreme Marine, who are located down on the Gold Coast but offer services up and down the east coast of Australia and even into the South Pacific. The passion and experience Extreme Marine have for what they do shows in their quality of work, and customers can rest assured that their vessels are maintained to the highest standards for trouble-free boating. So check them out on Facebook and Instagram, or search for Extreme Marine Queensland. And in fact, we do have a blue flag for our J3 juniors. So our field for this group is Little Rustler, driven by Hayden Chiswell, Titan, driven by Isla White, Little Hole Shot with Fletcher Donnelly driving, Little Bees, driven by Dylan Davies, Tori Jane Racing with Tori Jane Wood driving, More Madness, driven by Bella Smiley, Lost Identity with Noah Cosson driving, and Next Gen Marine Jr., driven by Leilani Borg.
So we can see our J3 competitors out on the water. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. We did have a bit of an issue with communications. We saw a couple of young people earlier this morning, and they were saying how cute some of these young ladies were in their race suits, and they're this and they're that. And I remember these two young ladies back in the day to my left. Of course, Courtney Sonner and her cousin Shelby to my right. Ladies, great to see you here. You made comment the young Bella Chase, Lily Theindaloo. It wasn't too long ago you and Shelby were doing this kind of thing.
Yeah, we were trying to work it out before, Craig. We raced, I don't even know, 2012 I stepped up into juniors, and it's really, really good to see some more girls coming up and coming through the ranks, and yeah, it's great to see them out there having fun.
Of course, we want to see some of those girls transition into the bigger boats as well, like you did.
Yeah, so my last race was 2022 here in the inboard A class, and we don't have too many girls in the bigger classes, so hopefully throughout the years they'll come on up and keep going. It'll be good to see. Moving
over to your cousin Shelby in this beautiful dash-hound. Sean Hughes at home would be absolutely loving this. But Shelbs, same for you. You moved into the F4 and years later.
Yeah, like Courtney said, started off in the juniors and worked my way up and went to F4 for a couple of years, and yeah, got to see so much of Australia and done the series and Australian championships that I managed to take away a few checkered flags in, and it's good seeing the sport still going on, and you start to feel a bit like an old chapter, and but it's good to see these guys out there and they're having fun, and yeah, like we once did, so yeah.
So what's happening in the Shelby Sonner household at the moment?
Oh, it's just me and my little dog at the moment, and partner's off in America and left us here by ourselves, so yeah, just studying nursing and going about my life pretty much, yeah.
Are we going to see you back in a boat?
Oh, I wish. I really do wish. Get a bit jealous from time to time, but I think the day, if it comes, I won't say no.
And of course, Courtney, your mum and dad here at the moment, and I'm sure the beautiful home brew is still sitting in the shed at home.
Yeah, so like I said, 2022 was the last time we took it out, and it's sitting there proudly just looking at us, waiting for the day that we're all home and we're all together again. It's a bit hard that I live a fair hike away, but one day I'll come back.
And of course, we've got another young lady we'd love to speak to, but of course the home brew, your brother, I do remember, most people go to their Year 12 formals in limousines and all that kind of thing. Your brother, a lunatic he is, he took the home brew boat to the formal.
Yeah, he had to one-up me with the muscle car, and of course went in the boat.
All right, ladies, thanks very much for your time. Look, unfortunate the incident out there, but as we just saw, the medics were on the spot. Our course boats, our divers, paramedics, they were there, and I'm quite sure all the kids will be okay. For the open deck boats for the kids, we never really see this kind of stuff.
No, you don't, Craig, but it is, I suppose it's a peace of mind for the parents and for the kids, knowing that safety is out there, and being kids, I think the safety crews, they're a lot more initiative, and you can almost see when these boats are going to go wrong. Well, the parents can anyway, their heart skips a beat, but no, I'm sure these kids will be fine, and hopefully we see them back out soon.
All right, ladies, best of luck, and I can see your father in one of his favourite spots up there at the ski club here at Bundy in the Wayne Sonter Bar. So, ladies, thanks very much for your time, and just a bit of a message out there, ladies and gents, particularly at home, that the beautiful young ladies, we've never seen them come through on the sport when they were 7 and 8 and whatever, and they were champions on the water in latter years, and if you want to get involved in this sport, these two ladies are prime examples. Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.
Thanks, Craig.
There we go, ladies and gents. Shelby and Courtney Sonner.
And so starting off on 35 seconds will be Supernaut. Going at 30 seconds will be Tennis Racket. At 20 seconds from zero will be Next Gen Marine. At 15 seconds will be Jitterbug, and off 0 will be Warrior and Cyclone. All right, so we're on a white flag for the 850cc's. As we said, handicap start for the folks who come out this weekend. If you haven't seen this before, the handicap start is based on their times in the previous race. So the theory being that this time around it'll even up a little bit more. So heading off 0, we've got the red boat, Kira Eglinton in Warrior, and Cyclone, Gary Parker in the white boat, number 49. Heading off first. Then we've got Next Gen Marine. There's Jitterbug and Supernaut, so we're all away in this one. So these 850cc races are 4 laps in length, and the 2 first handicap starters, Warrior and Cyclone, just making their way down to complete their first of 4 laps. So not too much changing just at the moment, but I'm sure that we'll see these tighten up a little bit as we go over the next couple of laps. So meanwhile, Next Gen Marine and Jitterbug, they're in second and fourth, so catching up to those lead pair. Then you've got Tennis Racket and Supernaut coming through next. So nothing changing in that handicap order at the moment, but we've just all completed 1 lap of 4. So the other boat there, Cyclone, has taken the lead over from Kira Eglinton in Warrior there at the moment, as that next boat, I think Jitterbug, looking to challenge there. Now still back in third, but a little bit of work to do, but definitely that gap has tightened up a fair bit. So as we come round to complete lap 2 of 4, so we're at the halfway mark for these lead boats at the moment, and it's going to be Cyclone out in front still at the moment. Warrior still in second. Jitterbug has made up a fair bit of that handicap, and Next Gen Marine right there. Meanwhile, the other 2, Tennis Racket and Supernaut, they're still some way off catching up to the lead pack just yet, but bearing in mind they were the fastest boats in Heat 1. Be interesting to see what happens in another lap or so's time. Meanwhile, back there, so Jitterbug has put a move on Kira Eglinton in Warrior to move into second place there now, and is in fact closing pretty fast on Cyclone as well. So that Jitterbug boat moving through the field pretty well. Meanwhile, at the back there, so it looks like Tennis Racket overtaking Next Gen Marine there, and here comes Luke Birmingham in Supernaut to challenge that Next Gen Marine boat as well. Coming down to the front straight now, so there'll be 1 lap left for these lead boats after they've come past the start-finish line there now, and it's currently Cyclone in front, but that Jitterbug boat right there ready to challenge for first place by the time they get to the NZ corner up there. Kira Eglinton still sitting back there by herself in third at the moment. Meanwhile, a bit of a race back here, so Tennis Racket moving through there now, and Supernauts have both passed Next Gen Marine now as they go past the start finish line. Be interesting to see if they can challenge for a place. Meanwhile, Jitterbug down the back straight now, clearly in first place from Cyclone. Warrior still sitting back there in third. Looks like you've just got Supernaut about to challenge Tennis Racket there for that fourth place at the present time. Not sure that they're going to have enough race left to be able to challenge for first, second or third. So the checkered flag is up and waiting as we come down here, and taking out this 850cc race is going to be one of the kid entries from Brisbane Marine. It's Jitterbug across the line first. Cyclone going to hang on for second. Warrior, Kira Eglinton in third, and it's going to be a tight one here, and it's going to be Supernaut coming through just underneath Tennis Racket there to get that one, and Next Gen Marine in sixth. So that 850cc race is sponsored by Brisbane Marine. Our next group up, class up, will be Restricted Combos, sponsored by the Brothers Club Bundaberg. So once the 850cc's are in, Restricted Combo class, I see a few down there ready to go. We'll have you on the water.
Speaking of Brisbane Marine there, Dave, visit their website at brismarine.com.au, plus their Facebook and Instagram pages. Brisbane Marine is your trusted partner for enhancing your boat's performance with Mercury outboards, stern drives, inboards and diesel repowers. As the Mercury and Motor Guide dealer of the year, Brisbane Marine specialise in Mercury engine repowers, boat servicing and a wide selection of marine parts and accessories. They are ideally located at the gateway to Moreton Bay on the Redcliffe Peninsula and are proud to be the only Mercury Premier Service Centre in North Brisbane. They've made it easy to get more information straight from their phone. Visit, build and price to get
a restricted combo. So our competitors for this one are Stress with Leon Evans driving, Silence driven by Kathy Eglinton, Shogun driven by Tom Birmingham, and Screwed and Glued with Todd Hines driving.
Restricted combo out on the water, ladies and gentlemen, coming onto the Smileys Group front straight, flag down. And the lady racer, Kathy Eglinton, leads out. The little Queensland skiff. Stress the name of the boat, trying to hang on to the coattails of Eglinton, leading out. Hurdlam driven by Todd Hines in third. And unfortunately, the boat Shogun, Tom Birmingham, very strong early on, got a pretty big misfire occurring with the boat currently. So Kathy Eglinton coming down to complete 1 of 3. So Eglinton still leads out from Leon Evans in Stress. We've got a fair gap between second and third now. Todd Hines in Screwed and Glued back in third, in front of Tom Birmingham. And the Birmingham machine sounding very, very sick at some stages when he really tries to stand on the accelerator. It's got a pretty big mess in it. So Eglinton still leads out. The Thurgood T-deck hull. This was an ex-ski boat, sorry. It's a Thurgood T-deck hull. So on the final time on the Brisbane Marine back straight, will Eglinton, will she hold on? She's maintained that gap back to second place. A lonely old drive for Todd Hines back in third. Tom Birmingham, first race today, was a real good win. He's going to have to try and sort out the mess in the engine that he's got. But taking out the white water marine checkered flag, Kathy Eglinton. Congratulations going to Kathy. Next along, Leon Evans in stress. Hoodlum, Todd Hines, and Tom Birmingham in Shogun. Restricted combo proudly brought to us by the Brothers Club at Bundaberg.
All right, so this 25 horsepower field, I'll just give you the poles for this one. So we've got Extreme Marine coming off pole 1, Just Winging It coming off pole 2, Eureka off pole 3, Maniac off 4, and Titan off 5. As they head off in this 25 horsepower race, so just on the outside there, Zach Slattery in Titan, fastest down the straight, but we'll see how they sort themselves out coming out of this corner. So it does look like Titan, Zach Slattery is going to be first away out of the NZ corner there, and then we are going to have, by the looks of it, Eureka, Katie Jenner, and Joshua Chiswell in the Extreme Marine boat. All three neck and neck down that straight. Meanwhile, a little bit back to Jason Chiswell in Maniac and Just Winging It, Caden Sutherland. So this race will be 3 laps, and as they come out of the top turn up there into the Smiley Straight, main straight, we'll see how they're looking coming down past the start finish line. But from here it looks like Zach Slattery and Titan still with the lead there at the present time. So we're 1 lap down, 2 to go in this one. Eureka, Katie Jenner there sitting in second at the present time. Jason Chiswell in that Maniac boat catching on to his son Josh in the Extreme Marine boat there now. So a tight race between them in a moment by the looks of it for third, and meanwhile it's going to be Just Winging It, Caden sitting back there in fifth. At the front of the field, no change at this point in time at the halfway mark in this race. So Titan still in the lead from Eureka. A little ways back to those two Chiswell boats, Extreme Marine and Maniac. So nothing changing at this point in time as we go into the top turn. Up there, so we'll see a yellow flag as they come past the start finish line, and it's going to be Titan still in the lead. So Katie Jenner in Eureka there, not going away though, not letting Zach Slattery get too far away. Meanwhile, down there challenging in third place. So on the inside there, you've got Maniac, Jason Chiswell and Joshua Chiswell in Extreme Marine, and they're going to be pretty well dead even almost as they come past the start finish line. But Maniac Dad just nudging his head, nose in front there at the moment. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, Titan has broken away a little bit now from that other boat, Eureka, with Katie Jenner on board. Maniac taken over third place, but Josh Chiswell in the Extreme Marine entry won't let him get too far away. There is a pretty big gap though between the third and fourth and first and second, so don't see that changing at the moment. Meanwhile, so Zach Slattery in Titan comes out of that final turn and heads for home, and so the checkered flag is ready and waiting, and winning this 25 horsepower race is Zach Slattery in Titan. Katie Jenner in Eureka will be second. Down there, so Jason Chiswell in Maniac will take third, with Joshua Chiswell in the Extreme Marine boat fourth. And then Caden Sutherland in Just Winging It. That was our 25 horsepower Group 1, sponsored by Wilson's Industrial Sales.
We've spoken to a number of our younger generation this weekend, and someone that is certainly young, but she's only new to the sport as well. Her name's Bella Smiley, of course the daughter of Troy Smiley, our principal sponsor this weekend. Bella, it wasn't too long ago that you were living up the road and the whole family were watching the powerboat racing. Next minute we find you're not only part of the sport, Dad's a major sponsor.
Yeah, I love the sport. Sitting up on the bank and watching last race day here at this time of the year, seeing the beautiful boats go past and the sound, it just makes you want to be part of the community.
Up until this time last year, you never put your backside in a boat before.
No, not until December last year. I had never been in a boat. I just thought I'd have a go, and here I am now.
For all the young people out there, people that are watching on live stream, people out in the crowd, what's the message you'd like to give them?
Have a go fast, turn left.
Turn left, okay. Unfortunately, you were just telling me the incident we had on the course was right next door. Good to know that everything's going to be all right with the boys.
Yeah, it was an unfortunate event that happened, but they're all good. They've gone off to hospital, they'll be fine. So sadly it's part of racing and it's sadly what happens, but at the end of the day it's that they're good, that all that matters.
All right, 12 months ago your backside wasn't in a boat, it is now. What's the most fun thing about it?
Going fast, have a go, and the friends.
And the friends, the camaraderie. You've got all these new friends now, not only people from school and your blood family, but a lot of new friends in the powerboats.
Yeah.
Okay, look, I know there's one very big sponsor of yours that happens to be part of the family. I'm sure you'd like to thank them and anyone else.
Yeah, I'm always here to thank my dad. He made anything that I have at my fingertips possible.
All right, young lady, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Bella Smiley. Thank you. Next round of heats for the Trojan Cup, the final round this weekend. Lock and load all the way from Wingham on the mid-north coast of New South Wales. From Adelaide, South Australia, Mark Evanreuter, representing the Raymond Terrace Aquatic Club. Mr. Brendan Mason. And in the little 5 litre, of course, Corey Marlin. Corey Marlin driving Sick Puppy. Of course, this boat won the WAGA, most sought after trophies going around last weekend at the St George Powerboat Club. Youngest ever driver, 16 years of age. One of the most sought after trophies in Australasia. So young Corey, 16 years of age, grabbing a great victory last weekend.
Okay, so when they come back down, the polls for this group in this next round of the Trojan Trophy, coming off 1 will be Lock and Load, off 2 Sick Puppy, off 3 Impulse, and on 4 Routers.
Coming up for the start, ladies and gentlemen, we can see the Smiley Group helicopter getting some great footage here. So coming up for the start, and flag down. Yes, we've got a great start. We got Lock and Load on the inside. Brendan Mason and Impulse. Sick Puppy back to 3rd on the inside, and Everrider in 4th place. Lock and Load Ryan McIntosh. Oh, look at... looks like Impulse has got to the outside. So it's a great race for first and second, third and fourth. So boats coming on to the Smiley group. Front straight. And it's Impulse, Brendan Mason over Ryan McIntosh. Sick Puppy, Corey Marlin back in third. Mark Evan Reuter in fourth place. Brendan Mason representing the Raymond Terrace Aquatic Club. Go the Terrace. He leads out from Ryan McIntosh. Corey Marlin has shook off Mark Evan Reuter in third. So boats coming up for the yellow flag and one to go, ladies and gentlemen. So one to go for Mason over lock and load. Corey Marlin in third place. Evan Reuter, the South Australian, still can't make any ground up on the 16-year-old. But out of Brisbane Marine and NZ at Bundaberg. Final time on the Smileys group of company front straight. Brendan Mason leads Ryan McIntosh. Sick Puppy home in third. Mark Evan Reuter comes home in fourth. And wow, Brendan Mason, what a statement. McIntosh got to that early lead. We thought it was going to be all over. Brendan Mason had other thoughts. Dave Wise, great race.
Okay, so as the outboard C field coming down in a moment. So off pole 1 will be Tennessee Titan with Reuben White driving. Off 2 will be the Deviate driven by Clinton White. Coming from 3, Fat Chance with Scott Carandrews driving. Off pole 4 will be Blue Balls driven by Dan Gamble. Off pole 5, Sonic driven by David Cassell. And off 6 will be Bundy On with Dean McLaughlin driving. Alright, as we head off for a start in this outboard C race, let's see how we come out of that first turn there, the NZ Bundaberg turn. And I think that'll be the Deviate with Clinton White leading the way off. And from here, looks like that'll be Fat Chance in second, Sonic in third, Blue Balls in fourth, Tennessee Titan in fifth, and Bundy On, the black and yellow boat, back there in sixth. Meanwhile, coming up at the top turn into the Smileys group main straight for the first time in lap 1 of 3. So it's well and truly out in front in this one. It's going to be the Deviate, Clinton White, out in front of Fat Chance, Sonic in third, Blue Balls in fourth, Tennessee Titan, and Bundy On. So no change in race order at this stage, ladies and gentlemen, but we're at the halfway mark in this one for Clinton White, who has opened up a big lead down that back straight, finding a bit of rough water there at the moment though. Fat Chance sitting back there in second, and Sonic looking pretty steady and not too far away. So we're just about 2/3 of the way there as Clinton White in the Deviate comes down the main straight to go past the yellow flag. So one lap left to go for the Deviate. Fat Chance sitting back there in second. Sonic in third. There might be a bit of a challenge coming here from Dan Gamble in that Blue Balls boat, but just as I say that, Sonic breaks away a little bit more again. So pretty messy down that, coming out of that turn there for Clinton White in the deviate, but he's got it back under control. Meanwhile, Fat Chance is just about to get challenged by Sonic down the back straight for that second place. So Clinton White really found some air down, coming out of that corner. Was pretty untidy, but still well and truly out in front at the moment. So as long as he comes through here cleanly, he will get the checkered flag. So Clinton White in the deviate is going to get the checkered flag, but just keep an eye on the red boat Sonic there, who's going to challenge Fat Chance for second as they come down to the line. But Fat Chance, so Scott Carandra is going to hang on, but it was pretty close there across the start-finish line, just nose to tail. Sonic in third though, Blue Balls in fourth, and then it's actually Bundy On is now in fifth, and Tennessee Titan in sixth. So after this outboard sea race, we'll get them back in and we'll have our next group of Trojan Trophy competitors up next. All right, so as our next group of Trojan Trophy competitors head off down the back of the course for a start. Just our 25 horsepower group, Heat 2. You guys are up next, so you can be ready to go as soon as this race is over. So 25 horsepower Heat 2, you're up next. Meanwhile, the boats that are out there for this round of the Trojan Trophy this time, we've got Melody XL, who will be off pole 1, Tough Enough off pole 2, and Rastus, who will be off pole 3.
Okay, next heat of the Trojan, Brian Kilpatrick in the orange and blue 5 litre, and our 2 blue boats, the light blue of Tough Enough, James Clark, and the darker blue of Rastus, of course, Steve Rarity. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. So we've got a great start from the 2 blue boats. Tough Enough on the outside, Rastus on the out. So Clark goes in early. Rastus has had to go right round the outside. Kilpatrick moving into third place. So coming out of Brisbane Marine into NZ at Bundaberg, top turn and onto the Smiley Group front straight. Coming up to complete 1 of 3, 1 of 3. So Tough Enough leads out from Rastus in second place, Steve Rarity. Next along, Brian Kilpatrick. He's another driver that's come out of the bottom of the future ranks not too long ago. Talk about him stepping into the blown alcohol displacement class. But young James Clark, one to go for Clarkie. Rastus, unfortunately, Kilpatrick, he stopped halfway up the Smiley Group front straight, which leaves the 2 blue boats on the course. So James Clark, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together. So Clark beats Rarity. Unfortunately, Kilpatrick stopped with a lap and a bit to go. There's a lot of blue smoke there. That certainly doesn't look good for Brian. He supports a lot of clubs, a lot of venues. That when they do come back, show your appreciation.
All right, so this 25 horsepower field that's just making its way down, ready for a start now. So off pole 1, we'll have Kamikaze, driven by Ben Ashby. Off 2, we'll have Slingshot, driven by Hugo Brackmanis. Off 3, we'll have Coop Science Racing, Steve Cooper. From 4, Mental Health, driven by Peter Bartz. Coming off pole 5 will be Siren, driven by Steph Cooper. And off 6 will be More Time Out, driven by Scott Trainer. Alright, as we come down for the start of this 25 horsepower race, coming through the first turn, we'll see how we look coming out of there. So it's going to be the one off pole 1 on the inside there, Kamikaze leading the way off Ben Ashby. So that green boat is Slingshot with Hugo Brackmanis. Then the dark coloured boat there is Mental Health. The white boat just tucked in behind Mental Health there is Siren. Then the other boat there is Steve Cooper in Coop Science Racing, and Scott Trainer in More Time Out with the predominantly yellow boat there, which won the first heat this morning in this group. So as we come around now, so there'll be 3 laps this race, and we'll see how we're looking as we come across the start-finish line. But from here, looks like it's going to be Kamikaze still in the lead just from Slingshot. Meanwhile, Mental Health, Peter Bartz there in 3rd, Steph Cooper in Siren 4th, Steve Cooper in Coop Science 5th, and still More Time Out in 6th. So no change to the race order at this point in time as they go through the NZ turn there, and it's still Kamikaze actually opened up a little bit of a lead there at the front. Now Slingshot still sitting there in 2nd and Mental Health in 3rd, so not too much changing. But back there in 4th, the dad Steve Cooper is made up a little bit of the gap on Steph Cooper, and Scott Trainer in More Time Out still sitting back there in 6th. So we're coming through the top turn there now, and once they come down the straight and cross the start-finish line, they'll get the yellow flag to let them know they've got 1 lap to go. And so still Kamikaze there in first, comfortably out in front at the moment. Slingshot there in 2nd. Mental Health looks like Peter Bartz could mount a challenge, but still a little bit of work to do there in 3rd. Meanwhile, Steph Cooper in Siren hanging on to 4th, Coop Science Racing, and More Time Out. So absolutely zero change to race order, but up on the NZ turn there, so it is Mental Health though. He did come out of that turn first in ahead of Slingshot, but Slingshot taking 2nd place back over there now, so keep an eye on those two. I think that's where the race is going to be. So Kamikaze well out in front at the moment, but keep an eye on the 2nd and 3rd there, and 4th and 5th. That's where the race will be as they come across the start finish line. Into the top turn there now, Kamikaze just the main straight to go for Ben Ashby in Kamikaze. So the checkered flag is waiting, but let's keep an eye on second and third there. So Mental Health and Slingshot is going to be pretty tight as they come down to the line, but Slingshot does just pull away there and looks like going to take second place. So it'll be Slingshot in second, Mental Health in third. And Steph Cooper finding the going a bit rough out wide there, but will hang on for fourth. Steve Cooper fifth in Coop Science, and Scott Trainer more time out in sixth in that 25 horsepower race, which was sponsored by Steve Cooper himself from Coop Science Racing. Our next race up will be inboard B, so we'll get these 25s back in to the bank, and we'll have our inboard B field up next.
So the Let It Ride machine, normally driven by Mark Eglinton, daughter Kira. We've seen her in the 850cc class a little bit earlier. That inboard B coming up. Proudly sponsored by Oz Propellers. So our starters are Send It, Steve Mallett, Hot Lemon, Rod Peterson, Irritation is Brent Fletcher, Wayne Montgomery in Misfire 2, Let It Ride, Kira Eglinton. So they are our starters. Coming up, next round of heats coming up, inboard B, proudly sponsored by Oz Propellers this weekend. White flag aloft, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Our start boat. Look at that Smiley Group helicopter above. What wonderful pictures they're getting at the moment. And we have a flag down and a good start by all competitors. You see Hot Lemon, Rod Peterson charging down the outside. A bumpy ride there in fairly close to the Irritation boat. Misfire's in there somewhere. I think that's possibly running third. Misfire 2. Wayne Montgomery, Kira back in fourth. So Peterson leads out. In Hot Lemon. But Cole Sweat, Benny Cole. He's on the inside, on the outside is Montgomery in Misfire 2. Kira Eglinton in fourth. An Irritation bringing up the tail. So coming up to take the yellow flag and one to go, Rod Peterson, the local dealer for NZ here at Bundaberg, one of our major sponsors. Look at this battle for second and third. This has been race long. Benny Cole on the inside and Cole Sweat on the outside. Misfire 2, Wayne Montgomery. Wow, what a race for second and third. They got half a lap to go. Cole Sweat coming back on the inside. Kira Eglinton in fourth. Pretty lonely drive for Kira. And Irritation back in fifth place. Hot Lemon coming onto the Smiley Group front straight last time. But look at the battle of second and third. On the inside, Cole Sweat, Misfire 2 on the outside. Who's it going to be, ladies and gentlemen? Montgomery, the president of the Bundaberg Power Club, moves into a tremendous second over Benny Cole Gold Sweat. Kira Eglinton in letter ride. And Brent Fletcher, Irritation. Wow, what a run. Great drive by Rod Peterson. However, the race for second and third, that was race long between Montgomery and Cole. We should see Wayne Montgomery in the official tower shortly. We'll have a talk with Wayne. Just when we thought Benny Cole had come back on the inside and with that good real estate, that no, he just kept coming and coming and coming, and then just got that gap and turned a shaky second place into a very firm one. Good drive once again from Kira Eglinton. Rod Peterson was the man though. He showed them a clean set of heels off the start, right down the outside, and that's where the race was won.
Thanks, Craig. And our next race up is Outboard B. So they've in fact got a blue flag and are making their way out onto the river. So these three boats will be down here for the start. And here they come. So this is our Outboard B field, sponsored by ASAP Aircraft Spares. Inboard A, by the way, you're up next, so be ready to go. But meanwhile, we've got to start in this Outboard B race. So there you've got, so the red boat is Millard Financial, and then you've got Villain, the blue boat, Todd Hines in Hoodlum there in the other boat on the outside there. So as we head down there, it'll be 3 laps of this race, and looks like so Millard Financial, Marcus Millard with the early advantage, but going pretty wide there. And so we'll see how they're looking as they come down past the start-finish line when we've got a better view. But it is going to be that red boat crossing the start-finish line first, then Hoodlum in second, Villain though. Chris Tucker with that run down the inside, so a bit cleaner out of there this time for Chris Tucker in Villain, but the other two boats have put the pedal down, and so Millard Financial and Hoodlum, but a bit of a misfire there for Todd Hines in Hoodlum by the sounds of it. So was taking off but slowed right up. So that leaves the red boat there, Marcus Millard in his Millard Financial entry out in front. The yellow flag is up, so once they come past the start finish line, they'll have 1 lap to go. Meanwhile, Todd Hines in Hoodlum has recovered there and crosses the start finish line in first. Millard Financial in the red boat still there. Villain dropped off from those two now, way back in third. So coming out of that turn, Millard Financial is well and truly on his own now. Hoodlum has stopped altogether. That motor wasn't sounding great, but he was still in it there. But that boat stopped now. So that's going to leave Marcus Millard in the Millard Financial entry all alone out front. So just got to get round that corner and come down and take the checkered flag. So it sounds like Todd's got that boat going again, so he'll be able to make his way around. But this one's been won and done by Marcus Millard in the Millard Financial entry. It'll be Chris Tucker in Villain taking second, and it sounds like so that boat Hoodlum, so we might have a there'll be a short delay before the next race, so I think it's going to need to be towed in at this point in time. So there'll be a short delay while that happens, but should only take a couple of minutes, and then our next race will be inboard A. Alright, so the poles for this inboard A race. So off pole 1 will be Who Cares, Tim Windmill driving. Off 2 will be Hustler with James McLaughlin driving that one. Off 3 will be Downtime driven by Rob Simpson. Coming off pole 4 will be The Punisher, Andrew Goodhue. Off pole 5 will be Home Wrecker driven by Dave Law, and off pole 6 will be the winner of the last race, Cole Sweat, with the driving being shared by Ben and Tim Cole this weekend.
The Smileys group helicopter working absolute overtime for us today. Right round the outside. So inboard A on the water. Tight indeed. So the Punisher, Andrew Goodhue, has charged away from the pack. Cole Sweat, I believe that's Tim Cole. David Law in Home Wrecker, he's third. Look at this for 4th, 5th and 6th. So we got the boat, Who Cares, Tim Windmill, Hustler, James McLaughlin, and the boat coming up on the inside, of course, Downtime, Rob Simpson. So checkered flag going out to Andrew Goodhue. Another good win to Andrew over Benny Cole. Dave Law in Home Wrecker, the blue boat. Look at this for 4th, 5th and 6th. It's going to go right down to the wire. So Rob Simpson in Downtime takes 4th. James McLaughlin in Hustler 5th. And Tim Windmill in Who Cares bringing up the tail. The Wedlock camp, good start. Joel Downs was the big star. But look at Wedlock right down the outside. Traderslov missed a start badly. There's that man on the outside, but I think that's the, that looks like Craig Spicer. Or is that Gary Dry around in the lead? Wedlock in second, Joel Downs in third. Spicer in 4th and Traderslov back in 5th place. There's obviously a problem with the Traderslov machine. But Dryer leads out from Wedlock. Downs in third. Craig Spicer holding fifth. Well, the two Craigs are back in fourth and fifth. Spicer in fourth, Truslove in fifth. That the races for the lead, ladies and gentlemen. Gary Dryer on the inside and Dave Wedlock on the outside. The two veterans in the sport. Look at this, going absolutely hammer and tong on the Smiley Group front straight. But Wedlock again. He's moved into the lead from Dryer. Joel Downs, pretty lonely old drive in third now, as is Craig Spicer. Craig Truslove, he took a lot of confidence yesterday, but the man to beat at the moment, it ain't over till the fat lady sings, but Davey Wedlock. So final time on the Brisbane Marine back straight. Wedlock, it's his race to lose. He's a couple of 100 metres in front of the second place getter. And that's Gary Dryer, but he's being hunted down now by Joel Downs. They're coming up to take the Whitewater Marine checkered flag, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands for Davey Wedlock. Dave Wedlock wins the number 3. In second place, Gary Dryer for Brisbane Marine. Joel Downs in third for Downs Family Racing. Craig Spicer home in fourth. And Craig Truslove, unfortunately, comes home in fifth. Well, the beautiful partner of Davey Wedlock, Charmaine Howe. He was down in the dumps yesterday, mate, but geez, 2 out of 2. He's done the Richie Benno today. Pretty good.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I'm so proud of him, and he'd be so happy out there. And he really loves racing with all these guys here. Like, we come here because we like racing, but we also like catching up with everybody. So it's really good to see him having some good luck out there.
The last couple of years he's had bad luck, but it's been good luck today. I said to him before, it was down in the dumps day yesterday. You did another engine, did this, did that. The boys threw, I don't know whether it was a fishing motor or whatever on late yesterday, but it's worked a dream.
I know, I'm really enjoying actually having all the helpers because it means I can just stand here and video it. It's awesome.
All the best, Charmaine here. So we have a start, and it is the yellow boat that gets out to that early lead. Lock and load right down the outside. Corey Marlin back to the inside. So we've currently got that Marlin Cornella again. And we thought Troy would drive off into the distance, but Corey hangs on. In fact, he's got his nose in front of Hayden Chesser in the other blown Howe goal displacement. So Marlin once again on the Brisbane Marine back straight. We've had Lock and Load lead the course. Lock and Load lead the course. So we've got a yellow flag, 1 lap to go for Troy Marlin in the big yellow Evercraft, sorry. The big Evercraft. So Fury moved into second. Corey has restarted the Sick Poppy. So unfortunately, Fury stopping in the Brisbane Marine back straight. back straight. So Corey Marlin will limp the boat home, hopefully in second place. Bad luck once again to Hayden Chesser in Fury. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Warm those hands. Well done, Troy Marlin.
On lap 2 of 3 now, though, but Lily in Little Lucifer still well out in front. Xander in Bad Habit back there trying to make up that gap. So at the halfway mark, they've got 1.5 laps to go in this one. We'll see how they work themselves out. So you can see Xander in Bad Habit closing in on the straight there. Now the yellow flag is up. Lily's gone pretty wide on that one, which Gaz has given Xander in Bad Habit a bit of a look in, but she's still out in front at the present time. So coming through that NZ turn, Xander looking for that, looking to sneak through on the inside. And it's pretty tight, so they're neck and neck down that back straight. Xander just poking his nose in Bad Habit out in front there now. Lily in Little Lucifer, not going to go away though. So he's had pretty good through the corners though. So we'll see how things look coming out of here. And it's pretty, oh no, tried a little bit too much on that corner there, Xander. So Lily takes over the lead. And Lily Theodulu in Little Lucifer will get the win. Xander Law in Bad Habit challenging, but second after that little mishap on the final turn. All right, so we'll have our Juniors J3 up next once these two boats are back in. And Juniors J3 will be followed by 850cc's.
Well, we've got a moment, ladies and gentlemen, down here with Craig Spicer. Just down here with Craig. Your day so far, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. I had a bit of a spill last round and just trying to get my head back around it and get my confidence back up. Making a few changes and yeah, we're getting there.
Okay, the new V8, I think you debuted it this time last year, going real well.
The new V8 we put on for the first round this year up here. So I've done one full race in it and then crashed last time. So and then today and yesterday's racing or practice yesterday. It's amazing, the V8. It's definitely a step above the 200, the V6 that I was running last year. The acceleration out of the corner the V8 has is just, it's amazing. Yeah, top end, it's got everything everywhere. So.
Okay, all right, mate, all the best. I tell you what, that race today with you and Truslove early was magic.
Oh, it was awesome, you know. Truslove, obviously my old man, Uncle Gaz, Wedlock, they're all, and even Joel Downs, they're all amazing blokes to race with. They give us the room. You know, I wouldn't be half the driver I am today, and I'm still nowhere near perfect or nowhere near good. I'd classify myself if it wasn't for, you know, the likes of Wedlock and Truslove helping me, pushing me where they think I can be pushed and, you know, teaching me a bit. You know, only person we're missing out there is old Acco. You know, I've raced with him in 850s. Obviously, our fathers used to race very closely together for a lot of years. Out deep water, as we were just discussing. And yeah, it's fantastic here.
All right, mate, all the best for the rest of the day. We'll get back to our J3s, and we've got some great boats out on the water. Thank you once again, going to Craig Spicer, the 22-year-old from yesterday. Happy birthday, Craig. So, Dave Wise, you might want to pick up, mate. I'm sorry, I missed the start there in our J3s.
No worries. So we've just got Noah Cosson in Lost Identity out the front there at the moment. Then you've got the pink boat, Tori Jane Wood from Tori Jane Racing in second. You've got Lost Identity there, as I said, in front. Little hole shot, Fletcher Donnelly was in third, but might have lost a little bit of ground on that corner to the yellow boat, which is Bella Smiley. So Bella in more madness there, the yellow boat. Little hole shot is back there. Next Gen Marine, Leilani there, but out in front at the moment. So with 1 lap to go, you've got Noah Cosson in Lost Identity in first. Still Tori Jane Wood, Tori Jane Racing in second. Bella Smiley in more madness in third. Then you've got Fletcher Donnelly in Little Hole Shot, the white boat, in fifth, and Leilani Borg, Next Gen Marine, that blue boat, in sixth. But round at the checkered flag now, so it will be Noah Cosson, Lost Identity, coming in first. Tori Jane Wood in Tori Jane Racing coming second. Bella Smiley in More Madness will take third, while Fletcher Donnelly in Little Hole Shot will be fifth, and Leilani Borg, Next Gen Marine, in sixth. And that's Juniors J3 race. Our Juniors, of course, sponsored by Extreme Marine. Great supporters of the club from all the way down there on the Gold Coast, but they do offer services right up and down the east coast of Australia and also into the South Pacific.
Okay, handicap times for our 850cc's. So 0 on the clock will be Warrior, Kira Eglinton, and Cyclone Gary Parker. 10 seconds after 0, the boats Jitterbug and Tennis Racket. 15 seconds after 0, Next Gen Marine and Supernaut. Cyclone has just been penalised 5 seconds. So Warrior is 0 on the clock. 5 seconds after 0, Gary Parker and Cyclone. 10 seconds after 0, both Jitterbug and Tennis Racket. And 15 seconds after 0, Next Gen Marine and Supernaut. All right, 0 on the clock. Our two boats. Well, our first boat should be Kira Eglinton in Warrior. So Kira Eglinton, we're looking for Kira. She hasn't made the start. So Cyclone Gary Parker should be our lead boat, followed by the Kid family, the Jitterbug and Tennis Racket. That's Logan and Campbell. And our Next Gen Marine and Supernaut. Boats moving on to the Smiley Grip front straight. So Gary Parker, the veteran racer. If there's anything Gary hasn't driven, it's not worth driving. Second place, that's one of the Brisbane Marine boys. So Tennis Racket in second place. So Next Gen back in third place. Jitterbug. Supernaut. So nice little gaggle at the rear of the field. So will Cyclone Gary Parker The field now really starting to push. So Cyclone leading. So Tennis Racket in second place. That is Campbell Kidd. So Campbell now leading coming out of the NZ at Bundaberg. Top turn boy. So Gary Parker's been pushed back to second. Gary absolutely hugging the inside line here. So Next Gen Marine, looks like in third place, Chris Borg. Supernaut making a big charge. Luke Birmingham on the outside. I tell you what, Luke is going gangbusters at the moment. He's gone from fourth to second in one foul swoop. And that'll push Logan in Jitterbug back to the tail of the field. Very busy NZ at Bundaberg. Bottom turn boy. So Campbell Kidd now got a lovely little lead. This is like the Cyclone machine may have been swallowed up here, but Campbell Kidd in Tennis Racket. The two Brisbane Marine boats virtually identical. Supernaut charging down the outside, Luke Birmingham. Oh, very, very high indeed, the nose of the boat of Birmingham. So Next Gen Marine, Chris Borg in third. Gary Parker in Cyclone back in fourth place, which makes Jitterbug back in fifth and last place. So final lap on the Brisbane Marine back straight. It's Campbell Kidd's race to lose. He's got a nice little gap. He's heading into the NZ at Bundaberg top turn. Coming out onto the Smiley Grip front straight. Nice little rooster tail out the back of the boat. So that indicates to all and sundry that the boat, the setup's really, really good. So Birmingham in Supernaut, a really good second going there to Supernaut. Next Gen Marine, Chris Borg back in third. And a battle at the tail of the field. I think Gary Parker on the inside. Yep. So Jitterbug, that the boat driven by Logan Kidd, moves into fourth, pushing Gary in Cyclone back to fifth place. Restricted combo, ladies and gentlemen, only 3 starters. And we've got Tom Birmingham in Shogun leading out. From Kathy Eglinton in Silence. Third is Stress. Leon Evans, the driver of Stress. So by the sounds of it, Tommy Birmingham has fixed the problem with Shogun because there was a definite miss in the previous race. So just coming out of NZ at Bundaberg top turn onto the Smiley Grip front straight, and it's Tommy Birmingham in the motor is a 1992 Fairlane, a Ford Fairlane engine. Just keeps on keeping on. Kathy Eglinton, driver of Silence. This is the Thurga T-deck. This is the next ski boat Kathy's driving, and of course Leon Evans driving Stress. The final time on the Brisbane Marine back straight. And it's Shogun Tommy Birmingham. He's extended the lead over Cassie Eglinton. Stress can't do much about the front two at the moment. The beautiful little Queensland skiff of Leon Evans. So taking the Whitewater Marine checkered flag, Tommy Birmingham, driver of Shogun. Second will go to Cathy Eglinton. In silence and stress, Leon Evans in third.
This group of 25s making their way down for a start now, heading across the start-finish line. It's going to be Zach Slattery in Titan on the outside, but taking the early lead. So let's have a look, see how they come out of this first turn, the NZ turn at the top of the course. And as they do, so it looks like that might be... So Zach Slattery down the outside, one of the two white boats in the field, which will be 77, just winging it. Caden Sutherland just nudging out in front. Maniac Jason Chiswell sitting back there in the pocket in third. Then Katie Jenner in Eureka and Josh Chiswell in the Extreme Marine entry in fifth at the present time. So this race is 3 laps, and as we head down to the start-finish line to complete lap 1 of 3, it's once again Zach Slattery in Titan leading the way. So we've got Caden Sutherland just winging it, still sitting back there in second. Jason Chiswell in Maniac third. Katie Jenner in Eureka fourth, and Josh Chiswell in Extreme Marine fifth. So no change to the race order for the time being, but it's a pretty tight contest there between second and third. So you've got Zach Slattery and Titan well out in front at the moment, but Maniac Jason Chiswell in third, looking to challenge for second, but now Katie Jenner in Eureka has entered the equation as well, so she's about to overtake Maniac. In fact, so they're neck and neck down that back straight, looking to challenge for that second position. So as both of them head past now, overtaking Caden in just winging it at the moment. Can't quite see from here. They're already pretty bunched up through that corner there. So it's going to be pretty hard for, in fact, one of them, I think it's just winging it. Caden slowed right down there in that corner. So meanwhile, down at the front straight here on the yellow flag, Zach in Titan is coming across the line now, still well out in front. And then back in second place there, it is Katie Jenner in Eureka and still Jason Chiswell in Maniac. Nothing between those two as they cross the start-finish line. And Caden Sutherland just winging it, sitting back in fourth now. So as they head down the back straight with half a lap to go, Zach Slattery in Titan is a long way in front at the moment. Katie Jenner in Eureka has come out of that turn a lot better than Jason Chiswell in Maniac. So for the time being, she's got a pretty decent lead over the third place Maniac, and meanwhile just winging it in fourth, Extreme Marine in fifth. At the top of the course now, the checkered flag is up and ready and waiting for Zach Slattery in Titan, who looks pretty good at this stage, but still around about 150 metres to go. Meanwhile, back there in second, I think it's going to be Katie Jenner in Eureka. A little bit of rough going there down the front straight, but she'll keep it together. And Katie Jenner, Eureka, will get second. Jason Chiswell in Maniac will be third. Caden Sutherland just winging it, fourth. And Josh Chiswell in the Extreme Marine boat will come in 5th in this 25 horsepower heat. So in this round, there's no Trojan Cup race, so we'll move on to Outboard C next. So Outboard C will be up next, and then the second of our 25 horsepower groups.
Coming up for the start, ladies and gentlemen, Outboard C. Got a father and son in this race as well. Of course, Clinton White and his son Reuben. You can see the fat chance boat of Scott Carandrews. On the outside, Dave Cassell in Sonic. And Blue Balls on the inside. Looks like Reuben White back in 4th. Nice little duel occurring with Dean McLaughlin there. So Blue Balls leading the race. Getting a little bit flighty there. He'll have to watch himself. Fat chance, Scott Carandrews. Moves into 2nd, Cassell. He'll try up the inside. Moving into NZ, Bundaberg, bottom turn. Oh, Cassell bogged down. Well, both him and Carandrews bogged down in the corner. But Blue Balls there. Heading into NZ, Bundaberg, top turn. Nice little duel in 2nd. The two mates, their stable mates in the pits, Carandrews and Cassell. So Blue Balls, he said ta-da, goodbye. Cassell, he's put a gap on Fat Chance. Dean McLaughlin. He's moved into 4th. Reuben White. First time seen young Reuben on the water, doing a fab job. Dad'll be, and Grandpa be really pleased with the young fella. But taking the white Watermarine checkered flag, Blue Balls takes the win over Sonic. Dave Cassell. All over the shop like a Woolworths shopping trolley was Dave. Back to Fat Chance, Scott Carandrews. Next along will be Dean McLaughlin. And Reuben White will bring up the tail.
It's a 25 horsepower heat too, and it's the green boat leading the way off. Hugo Brackmanis in slingshot on the outside there. So meanwhile, in amongst it, Kamikaze Ben Ashby. But let's have a look at how we come out of the NZ turn there, and looks like it's on the inside. So Scott Trainer in more time out has had a fantastic run through there and takes the lead from Steve Cooper in Coop Science Racing. Meanwhile, Steph Cooper in Siren is just off their tail in 3rd, and then it looks like Peter Bart's in Mental Health just there in 4th, Kamikaze 5th, and Slingshot in 6th. So a couple of those boats little bit slow through that corner, but we'll get a good look at them coming down to the start-finish line now. So this one, once again, 3 laps this race, and we're on lap 1. It's a pretty tight bunch as they come down there, but just out in front of them is Steve Cooper, the Coop Science Racing boat. Steph Cooper in Siren just outside in second. Meanwhile, Peter Bart's in Mental Health just overtaking Scott Trainer in More Time Out. Kamikaze just hanging off there, and Slingshot at the back, but not too far away from the rest of the pack. So we're almost at the halfway mark, so they've done nearly 1.5 laps, and Steve Cooper, Coop Science Racing, has opened up a bit of a lead, but Steph Cooper in Siren and Peter Bart's in Mental Health now in hot pursuit there. Meanwhile, Kamikaze and More Time Out has dropped off the pace there a little bit from that main bunch. So Steve Cooper in Coop Science Racing still in the front at the moment, but any one of that group of 4 could come through and win this at this stage, and even 5th and 6th not too far back. So we've got the yellow flag up. Once they come over the start-finish line, it'll be 1 lap to go. So Steve Cooper in Coop Science Racing still just managing to stay half a dozen boat lengths out in front there at the moment. Although, as I say that, Peter Bart's in Mental Health closes that gap, so not too far off. And Steph Cooper in Siren definitely in amongst it as well. And Ben Ashby in Kamikaze, wouldn't count him out. So Slingshot, in the meantime, has overtaken More Time Out to move into 5th place. So we're just over half a lap to go at this point. Situation is just back there in 2nd and 3rd. So Steve Cooper in Coop Science Racing has still got that little bit of a lead there. The race at the moment, though, now is between Kamikaze and Mental Health. Steph Cooper in Siren was in amongst that first group. She's just dropped off the pace there a little bit now. So Kamikaze and Mental Health will be the 2 at this stage that could potentially challenge Steve Cooper for that lead, depending how they get a good run through that corner. So Steve Cooper, checkered flag is up, and he's come through pretty cleanly, so he's looking quite good. That boat on the inside there, though, Kamikaze is looking to mount a challenge. I'm not sure if there's going to be enough left as Steve Cooper gets the win. Kamikaze, Ben Ashby will get 2nd. Peter Bart's Mental Health recovering strong and getting 3rd. Steph Cooper in Siren will be 4th. Slingshot 5th, and More Time Out finishing 6th. So we got this inboard B race now. We're going to run outboard B and inboard A, and that'll wrap us up for the day.
Okay, thank you very much, Dave Wise, down here with a family of irritation. Very nervous wait for the family. So we got this and the next race to go, ladies and gentlemen, and that'll be it for the day. Inboard B. So coming down the straight, it's that man Rod Peterson once again. Leading out on the inside. A great run up the back straight. That's Dave Law in home wrecker leading out. You see Peterson right round the outside of Let It Ride, Mark Eglinton. Boats very tight indeed coming on. The boat's coming onto the Smiley grip. Front straight. So the lead boat send it. Has got a nice little gap now over Hot Lemon. Rod Peterson, Let It Ride. Mark Eglinton and Misfire 2. Wayne Montgomery. So Send It still got that good lead. Over Rod Peterson, Mark Eglinton. And Misfire 2 having a rough ride at the back of the field. So final time on the Brisbane Marine Back Straight. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. For Oz Propellers, the driver of Send It, Steve Mallett. Steve Mallett in centre, taking the win. Rod Peterson. Rod Peterson home in second in Hot 11. Mark Eglinton home in third in Let It Ride. Misfire 2. Or Irritation, sorry, in fourth. We had a boat drop out early in the decider, just trying to pick which boat it was. So Misfire it is that did run fourth. Irritation did not appear to start. So Misfire 2, Wayne Montgomery home in fourth.
All right, so we're underway with our outboard B race. So just two competitors down in this category now, and Marcus Millard in the Millard Financial boat there, the red one, got the better of that start. So meanwhile, Chris Tucker in Villain, though, coming around the outside there at the moment. So Marcus Millard Financial slowed right up there coming out of that corner, but back underway again now and takes neck and neck at the moment. So it was well out in front. Not sure what happened coming out of that turn, but slowed right up, giving Chris Tucker in Villain the opportunity to come down the outside. So as they come down to complete lap 1 of 3 now, as they head for the start finish line, they're pretty far apart, but looks like Marcus Millard well out in front again now in the Millard Financial boat. Chris Tucker in Villain, not letting him get too far away though at the moment. So just 1.5 laps to go in this one. That red boat slowed right down again, but gets going once more. Inboard A, just a reminder, so we're a few minutes to 4. We can get your race in as long as we've got you on the water as soon as possible after these two are done. So inboard A, let's make sure we're good to go so we can get your race in. So it's a yellow flag now, and as they head down for the start finish line, Millard Financial, the red boat there, slowing down again, giving Villain a look in, and in fact Chris Tucker in Villain crosses the line just with his nose about a metre in front that time. So Marcus Millard though, good run through that corner. Pretty slow out of those corners, that red boat for some reason, giving Villain the opportunity to come back, but you can see as he gets moving again, the Millard Financial boat well and truly has the speed down the straight, so it's just a concern for him that is not losing a lot of speed coming out of those corners. So Chris Tucker in Villain will be hoping to take advantage of that as they head for the start finish line there now. And we can see that it's going to be pretty tight actually as they come down to the line. So Marcus Millard on the inside, Chris Tucker on the outside in Villain, and it is going to be Millard Financial, Marcus Millard crossing first from Chris Tucker in Villain.
Last race of the day, inboard A. Who Cares, Tim Windmill. Downtime, Rob Simpson. Home wrecker, Dave Law. Cole Sweat, Ben Cole. The Punisher, Andrew Goodhill. And Hustler, the Dangerous, James McLaughlin. I say dangerous, not in relation to his driving style, but he's got a very quick wit, young James. Of course, J Mac Roofing, one of our great sponsors here at the Bundaberg Powerboat Club. Last time today, looking forward to tomorrow, big program. We do have a green flag, ladies and gentlemen. Boats coming down the Smiley's Group front straight. And once again, it's that boat of Andrew Goodhill's power down the outside. But that looks like David Law in home wrecker. He's moved into first, but here comes Goodhill. Goodhill is charged down the outside. What an absolute rocket ship. This, the Punisher is coming out of Brisbane Marine into NZ at Bundaberg. Top stride, top turn onto the Smiley's Group. Front straight, Goodhill, goodbye, he says. Not good who, but goodbye. Second place to home wrecker Dave Law. Benny Cole in Cole Sweat, Hustler, James McLaughlin, sorry, and Misfire 2. And who cares, beg your pardon, Tim Windmill. So unfortunately, downtime is OUT, out of the race. That a breakdown, but Goodhill has got one to go. Don't know if Dave Law can do much about this in home wrecker. Andrew has been absolutely outstanding in the Punisher. Final time onto the Smiley Group front straight. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Andrew Goodhill, driver of the Punisher. Home wrecker Dave Law in second. Cole Sweat, Benny Cole in third place. Next along, unfortunately, downtime, Rob Simpson having a problem. So who cares? Tim Windmill home next. And Hustler. James McLaughlin home in fifth. On behalf of the Bundaberg Powerboat Club, just wish to thank everyone for your attendance here today at the venue and for everyone at home watching Wide Bay ITV. Co-commentator today, Dave Wiseman. It's been a tremendous day's racing.
Has been fantastic. Good to see you too, though. We actually got through all of our 3 rounds. A bit of a late start this morning, but we got through the 3 rounds as planned right on 4 o'clock, and what a fantastic day it was. Good to see, mate, a few of these boats. You might have seen them around other parts of the country, but we don't always see them here at Bundy Powerboat Club. That yellow beast, that is one quick boat.
It is the benchmark, mate, and fortunately for some of us, we get to see it a lot more than others, but it's been a tremendous day here. You know, like you just talk about boats that you sometimes don't see. A lot of the kids I don't see, but what tremendous racing we had from our J2 and J3 competitors today, and that's going to be obviously continued tomorrow. 850cc restricted combo. how good were they? 25 horsepower. We had a couple of heats of them. We had that many. Outboard C, outboard B. The inboarders. It's been great racing all day.
Excellent racing, and I will just mention too that great to see the boats, but what about that helicopter though? Doesn't it just add to the atmosphere here, thanks to one of our major sponsors, the Smileys Group?
Yeah, it certainly is, mate. And we just want to thank all our sponsors: Extreme Marine Queensland, Brisbane Marine, Brothers Club Bundy. I'll be there tonight. Wilson's Industrial Sales, Whitewater Marine, Clint White there, the Coops Science Engineering, Oz Propellers, ASAP Aircraft Spares, and Cymax Bundaberg. We've got a couple of races early tomorrow, Dave, because our licence ceased at 4 o'clock this hour. We're going to get cracking 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. For everyone at Wide Bay ITV or anyone that's coming back to the venue tomorrow, we hope to see everyone back. So 9 o'clock, I believe our coverage on Wide Bay ITV will commence in the morning. So Dave, we just hope everyone has a great night. We look after our sponsors. I'm going to be looking after Bundy Brothers Club tonight. You have a great night, mate. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, thank you. See you bright and chirpy in the morning.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Dave Wise and myself, a very good afternoon. Thanks for your patronage. Thanks for everyone at home, and we'll see you back tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Thank you.